Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Judith. Today I'm going to do another one of my very inexpertly done Japanese meals. So I decided to do a katsu. Tonkatsu to be sure. So pork cutlet. And this, it always intimidated me, but if you've ever made Wiener Schnitzel or any kind of schnitzel, it's the same. But you swap out the regular breadcrumbs for panko breadcrumbs. Oh, well, and there's a couple other differences. Like, we're going to make our cutlets a little thicker than you would for a Wiener Schnitzel. And the lemon isn't the flavoring for your Wiener Schnitzel when you're done. It's the flavoring for the cabbage side dish. And some finely shredded cabbage. To go with the meal, we are going to make a miso soup. Unfortunately, I could not get any bonito flakes, so I have to go with the dried dashi, what they call dashi powder. And it's little granules actually, and you must be careful how much of it you use because it's very strong. So to start off, we're going to make our miso. I have the tofu ready to go. The wakame is to go in with the tofu and the green onions when our miso is finished. The kelp goes in to help make the stock. So I'm going to put 2.5 cups of water in a pot, and a couple of the kelp knots. Probably 3 should do. Bring it to a boil. Once it boils, remove the kelp knots. Then you add your dashi granules, and when you're ready, you add in your miso. But do not bring it to a boil. Once you put the miso in, bring it up to just before boiling and then turn it off. At that point you can add your tofu, your wakame, and your green onion, and it's ready to serve. Of course, if you want to go vegan for your miso, stop after the kelp knots, or whichever seaweed you choose to use. Do not add the bonito flakes or the dashi powder. And make sure your miso paste is vegan. Not sure if they ever put anything else in it, but it always pays to read the label first. So let's get started here on our miso soup. Alright, now that we have boiling, you want to bring it to a boil slowly so you get the benefit of the flavor from the kelp. But now you want to take the kelp out, because otherwise it will impart a bitter taste. And be careful, it's hot. You don't want to splash yourself with hot water. You could, of course, use a strainer, strain it into another pot, but you really want to use every pot in your house. The kelp is out. We're going to add our teaspoon of Hondashi. This you can all do ahead of time. You can make your stock ahead of time. I'm going to shut this off because we don't want it boiling when we add our miso. And I don't have a miso muddler, so I'm going to put a tablespoon of miso into a ladle. And put the ladle in the hot liquid here. And use a whisk to break it up. And if you add too much miso, you can add more stock, more dashi. I think we're good. There we go. And I have turned the burner off because we don't want it to boil now. I want a little taste. I just want to clean the spoon off. I'm just rinsing it in the water here. Rinsing it in the stock so I can get a little taste here. That is good. That is good. Okay, I'm going to take that off the heat. Well, the burner's still warm. I'm just going to take it right off the burner and we'll get started on our tonkatsu. So when you're breading something, it's usually a good idea to bread a little ahead of when you want to cook it, because you want the breading to solidify, dry a little. And this is what I'm saying with the, I will put a link to my Wiener Schnitzel video, but this is what I was talking about. This is a lot thicker than you would do a Wiener Schnitzel. At least than I would do. So it's a standard breading. Flour, egg, but then we do panko crumbs, not regular breadcrumbs. And make sure they're pressed on there good. And never, when you're breading something, never put your fingers in the flour and then in the egg. You're going to end up with wadges of breading on the ends of your fingers. Use a fork, tongs, whatever you got handy. Get a child to do it for you. Then they can get messy. And they love to get messy in the kitchen. You know, if you got a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old, get them to help. Well, so far we've mentioned 2 differences between Wiener Schnitzel and katsu. And that is that katsu is a thicker cut. Its breading is with panko, not regular breadcrumbs. Here's the 3rd difference. It's deep fried, not shallow fried. Wiener Schnitzel is typically shallow fried. So we're going to deep fry these little babies. And then it's pretty much time for dinner. So I'm going to put the thicker pieces in first and get them done, because there's a couple that are thinner and they won't take as long. Now this does not take very long to cook. I set it timer for 5 minutes, but I came back at 3 and it is beautiful. Okay, last 2 things. Just before you want to serve, reheat your miso broth. Add the wakame. And let it rehydrate. Then we will add the tofu and the sliced green onions. But you want to add those right at the last minute. And you do not want to bring this to a boil. You just want it to come up to just before a simmer. Let me find a spoon. Because we do want to give it a stir. Keep an eye on it. I have it on a very low heat, so this will take a bit to get it up to a simmer. Although it's still warm, so it might not take that long. I love the swirls and things Miso does. Alright, final touches for your tonkatsu is we now have to slice it. You do not serve it whole. So let's take our beautiful and slice into pieces. Now, as I said before, if this intimidates you, just remember, if you've ever made Wiener Schnitzel or any kind of schnitzel, it's exactly the same. Well, barring a few minor differences, but they are minor. So you just slice it up. Now, Wiener Schnitzel you serve with lemon. This you serve with a very fruity sauce, but not lemon. I found this in the Korean section of my grocery store. It's very fruity. It is delicious. And before we take it to the table, let's have a little taste here. That is good. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. So there is my third try at a Japanese dinner. This one does not involve sushi or anything uncooked. Pork katsu, some pickles, some sake, and miso soup. And I have this beautiful sauce, which we're going to put on. It is very fruity, very delicious, and that's going to taste wonderful. The miso soup is fragrant and wonderful and very clear. So good. So I just bought some pickled daikon to go with, and the lemon goes with the shredded cabbage, which is traditional to serve with the katsu, pork katsu at least. So we just sprinkle that on, and that's how it tastes there. See, that cabbage is absolutely beautiful and soft and sweet. And with the lemon, it's fabulous. So I'm going to try one of these guys. I don't know if you can hear that crunch, but it is so crispy, so crunchy, and so good. I thank you all for watching. Please give it a thumbs up. I will link the video about the Wiener Schnitzel. They are so similar, but so different. If you're new here, please subscribe. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified when I put up new videos. I'm also on Instagram, where I post pictures of things that maybe don't make it to a video, and heads up about what video is coming up. So I'll see you again soon. Have a great day and enjoy.